Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Yes, one and only Dorian Stratton here. It's my 52nd birthday today. Yes, I'm 52 years old. I know, I don't look it. Thank you for saying so. Very kind of you. Yes, anyway, which got me to thinking, being 52 years old, and it got me to thinking how things have changed since I was a little bitty baby. Yeah, like when I was a small child, there were only two TV channels. Most people's TVs were black and white. Um, yeah, um, yeah, and there were only two TV channels in the UK, which were BBC and ITV. And then in 1969, I think it was, BBC Two came along, and Channel 4 didn't come along until I was, God, early 80s, so I would have been 19 or 20, can't even remember the exact year it was, but I was, yeah, you know, I was like properly an adult by then. So yes, but so for most of my early life, we only had three TV channels, and we were quite happy with it. Well, actually, we probably weren't, but we had other things to do, like going outside and playing for hours on end and stuff, and our parents not actually worrying about it too much, but I won't go into that because, you know, it makes me sound like a grumpy old git if I start wandering off down that particular avenue. But no, I was thinking about technology and things like doing this. This would have been inconceivable when I was a child, you know, like recording a video on a personal computing device like what I am doing now would have been absolutely inconceivable. Well, maybe in science fiction, but you know that it would actually happen I would actually be able to do it in real life, you know, and potentially thousands of people from all over the world could see it. You know, like what are you talking about? That's just crazy talk, man. Um, yeah, first ever computer that I saw was actually at Oundle School, which is a private school in the east of Northamptonshire. Um, I did say private school. It's what in England would be called, just to confuse the Americans, is called a public school. But yes, Oundle School, actually quite well known. But they had a computer. I saw it in, I think it was the late 70s. Um, and yes, they had a computer, like I said, and this computer took up an entire 12 by 8 foot room. Just the computer. We're not even talking about the monitor. We're not even talking about the workstation that was attached to it. The computer took up an entire room, and it probably had less processing power than the phone in my pocket. It sure as hell had a hell of a lot less than the laptop that I'm recording this on. Then videos. First time I remember seeing videos was again in the mid to late 70s. This was at school, and these things were called U-matics. U-matic video, and these things were massive. I mean, the cassettes were about the size and weight, or seemed to be about the size and weight of a breeze block, or if you're of the American persuasion, a cinder block. The things were huge. The cameras were massive as well, and the camera was separate from the actual recorder. So having two in the same device just wasn't, because they were completely analog. So they were using like cathode ray tubes, basically an old-fashioned TV in reverse. But these things were huge, and I think U-matic tapes, I only like recorded like like half an hour or 45 minutes per cassette. So yeah, that was like, what else? Technology, things that are around today that just sort of appeared when I was, mobile phones. the fact that when I was a kid, you know, you said you'd have these personal computer, you know, personal communication devices that, you know, you carry around in your pocket. You know, people look at you gone out. You know, that was science fiction. That was Star Trek. You know, but to, that something like that would appear in my lifetime, that was inconceivable. It really was. Um, you know, people look at you gone out. Then again, when I was a kid, most people didn't have, most ordinary people didn't even have landline phones. I mean, my family, we didn't get our first landline phone until I was 10 years old, until 1973. Um, I think we'd only just recently got our first fridge as well. Yeah, and then, oh yeah, like I said, my TV was black and white. We didn't have our first colour TV until I was 14 years old. Um, then you have computer games. They came along again, late 70s. Um, you know, like Pong and Frogger and all that. Thing was with me that computer games came along pretty much the same time that I discovered sex. And strange as this may seem to a lot of people, I actually kind of found sex slightly more compelling. Well, not slightly more, a hell of a lot more compelling a pastime than video games. So I never really got into them. Not got anything against them, but you know, given the alternative that I discovered, I thought, you know, just the way it went really. But yeah, so what else? You know, I look back at, you know, like how things have changed, you know, at least technologically, and I feel sort of like, makes me, being a grumpy old git, makes me think, you know, like, I'm not sure that all you young folk out there really appreciate what you've got, you know. It's like how much things have changed. Oh, you know, and again, not just talking about technology, you know, because everyone keeps saying, oh, the world's going to hell in a hand, you know, in a handbasket. But you look at racial, race relations. I mean, things have improved immensely. Could they get better? Yes, but in comparison to the way they were even when I was a teenager, things are so much better. Again, the same with, you know, LGBTQ rights and attitudes to, you know, non-straight, non-binary human beings. You know, it's the attitude has got so much better. We don't have the threat of, you know, imminent nuclear annihilation that I grew up with as a child. That was a real threat. You know, have things, you know, improved politically? In some ways, yeah. In some ways, not so much. But materially, for most people, at least in the West, in the developed world, things have, and in the developing world, things have got markedly better and seem to be getting better. You know, looking back, like I said, looking back through my life over 52 years, yeah, you know, things have improved. But other things not so much. We're kind of buggering up the environment, and we should get that sorted out. You know, but yeah, you know, I look back at my life and say, you know, I wouldn't have seen, you know, like half, especially technologically, the difference between, you know, when I was a kid and now is just incredible. It really is quite astonishing, and it seems to be getting the pace of innovation seems to be getting faster. So it'll be really interesting to see if I actually make it to my, like past my 100th birthday, what's going to happen. Even in the next 20 years, it's like, what's it going to be like? What's going to come along? It's just, it's pretty awesome, really. I've, lived through some interesting times. So yeah. Anyway, I think definitely I've rambled on long enough. But yeah, just some thoughts about how, basically the world has, erratically, as far as I can tell, erratically stumbled, you know, like a drunken old fart towards something better, if that's the way, if that's the way to put it, but I think you get what I mean. Anyway, that's enough. If you enjoyed this ramble, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, make a video response if you want. If you want to hear any more of my infrequent witterings, feel free to subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again at some time in the future, maybe. Bye for now.